Hey everyone, Levan here. Today I want to talk with you about something we've all dealt with, whether we realize it or not. The strange relationship many of us have with money, especially when we're trying to turn what we love into how we live. Have you ever felt guilty just for wanting more money, not desperately needing it, not hoarding it, just wanting it? It can feel like there's an invisible wall between believing you deserve abundance and actually experiencing it. And behind that wall, there's usually a subtle belief playing on repeat. I have to prove that I'm worthy. And that belief, that worth must be earned, doesn't just shape our bank accounts, it shapes our identities. And today we're going to walk gently but deeply into it. And there's a guy in this coaching session named Bobby. He's done everything right. He worked hard, invested time in his craft, took a leap on his coaching business. He's passionate, talented, generous, and still found himself running up credit cards and questioning his self-worth. Not because he wasn't doing enough, but because deep down there was a belief. And so I'm not allowed to want money unless I've earned it beyond question. Sound familiar? And it starts innocently. We chase dreams with passion. We sacrifice. We imagine that if we just hit that next milestone, we'll finally feel safe, legitimate, free. Yes. But what happens when we hit a wall, when money dries up or success eludes us longer than we thought it would? That's when the real internal test comes, not the hustle, not the tactics, but the stories underneath. Stories like, if I want a lot of money, I must be greedy, or I'm only allowed to want things that help others, not just me. These stories usually come from somewhere early, from our families, our communities, our cultural myths. And there's this one question in the session that cuts right through all that noise. What are you allowed to want? Try asking yourself that honestly, not with your head. Let your body answer. Are you allowed to want $250,000 a year? For many people, even saying that out loud feels constrictive, but saying, I want my partner to be happy, rolls off the tongue with ease. Why is that? Because we've been conditioned emotionally, energetically, to believe that wanting for others is noble, but wanting for ourselves is selfish, or worse, dangerous. And here's the twist. That exact belief blocks the flow we actually want. Money doesn't respond well to guilt or fear. It responds to presence, to openness, to creativity without pressure. That doesn't mean we stop working or caring. It means we notice the voice that says, you're not enough, and stop worshiping it like it's the truth. Now, you might be wondering, okay, does that mean I just sit back and trust the universe to handle all the bills? Not exactly. It means we shift the motivation. We still build, still serve, still create, but not from lack, not from the hungry ghost that says, only when you prove your worth will you receive. There was also this beautiful moment in the coaching session. Bobby said, I want to be the version of myself that empowers others to live lives that excite them. That's gorgeous. But then came a simple question. Can you let yourself feel excited, free, and joyful now? Not later, not when the money arrives, now. That's the whole inquiry here. How often do we delay the exact thing we think money will give us? Joy, peace, security, and rob life of it in the name of chasing success. It's like we're telling ourselves, I'll be relaxed once I'm abundant, but we're too anxious to ever get there. And worse, when we do feel good, and even for a moment, which we start looking around like, is this allowed? And unconsciously create a new problem to solve, a new hurdle to jump. Because feeling good without earning it can feel unsafe to the parts of us that were raised to believe love is transactional. And that realization, well, for me, it's humbling because we do this in so many areas of life, not just money. We turn freedom into a goalpost. We make presence a to-do list item. We even take joy and say, okay, how can I optimize this? How do I make it last forever? But the very act of trying to hold it destroys it. So what if we put down the task list just as an experiment? What if, and just humor me here, you aren't broken, there's nothing to fix. There's no special version of future you who finally deserves the life you want. It's just you right here, already lovable, already worthy, already free, even if no one ever told you. And the crazy part is when you live from that place, no, not perform it, live from it, things tend to flow. People trust you more. You're not leaking neediness. You're not selling from lack. You're in resonance with what you're offering because you're already embodying it. Now, for those of you like Bobby whose minds instantly go to structure and action, and I get it, I love a good framework too. Here are two gentle practical experiments. First, play with how you respond to your inner critic. That voice isn't going anywhere, but your relationship with it can evolve. Next time it says, you're not doing enough. Instead of believing it, try saying, hey, I hear you. Thanks for trying to protect me. Let's try something different today. Collect a few responses, joke with it, love it, rebuke it even. The point is to break the trance, make it a dialogue, not a dictatorship. Second, build a daily gratitude practice. Those 10 minutes a day with someone you trust, your partner, a friend, say out loud what you're genuinely grateful for, especially material things, not to fake abundance, not to manipulate the universe, but to retrain your nervous system to feel safe and supported now. These aren't magic tricks, they're reminders, ways to ground back into the truth that's always been available. You are enough. There's nothing to chase. Just experiment and see what flows from a place of truth, not a place of fixing. Here's the wild paradox. The part of you that believes you need to improve is the same part that keeps the abundance at bay because it whispers, not yet, you're not there, you're not enough. But if you can sit even for one breath in the stillness that says, what if I am enough now? Then money, success, impact, they all become secondary. Beautiful, yes, but not proof that you matter. That's what changes everything. So let me ask you gently, who would you be if you stopped trying to prove your worth? How would you move through the world if freedom wasn't something to earn, but something already inside you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment if this resonates, if you've ever felt like worth and wealth were tangled in your nervous system, or share a belief you've realized might not be serving you anymore. Let's explore this together. All right, friends, that's all for today. Thanks for being here, for being open, and for doing the kind of internal work that truly reshapes how we live. Until next time, take a deep breath, smile even if you don't know why, and trust that you're already far more aligned with abundance than you thought.